anybody at the moment who's, especially any of these teams that are up there, I think are all capable of beating each other on the day. So we're going to go into this game confident enough that we, like we do every game, confident enough that we can get the win. Especially at home, hopefully we'll get a good crowd behind us.
Pretty good start to the season for Hunslet Club Parkside. How's it been?
In all honesty, I think we've not quite hit the straps yet. We had a very good pre-season, but we picked up a fair few injuries against Sheffield Eagles in Challenge Cup, and we just haven't quite recovered from it quite yet, and we're just not quite hitting the straps how we should be, where we want to be yet, but slowly getting there. Probably like to have been where we want to be a few weeks ago, but we're slowly getting there. Just at the moment, we're just struggling with a bit of consistency with team, selection wise, availability wise.
And that's perfectly understandable, really, isn't it? Because you mentioned the Challenge Cup there. That's kind of early on in the season, isn't it? And you've just had to hit the ground running. And we should say it's our return to the NCL Premier being a pan-Northern competition. Last year it was all regionalised. So how's that transition been, really, from playing local sides to now playing the likes of Cumbrian sides and Fatto Heath and everyone else?
I much prefer it a bit more, just because you're getting that consistency in level. Even some of the teams we played York Acorn at weekend who were at bottom end of the table, and you wouldn't think that playing against them. Very tough outfit in all fairness, and they've really pushed us close at times on Saturday. So that in the NCL Premier, even your lower teams will never stop coming at you. They'll never stop having a good dig, whereas in the regional teams, you might go 2 or 3 tries up, and they're just, sometimes it's not the competitiveness what the players want.
But then again, when you touch upon this competition and how competitive it is, and I know what you're saying about the start, you might not have been as consistent as you'd hope in this opening round of matches. This game this weekend, there's not much separating the two of you, is there? I know you're sitting 4th at the moment. They're top of the table, West Hull. So it's been a pretty good start from that perspective. Yeah,
well, we spoke about this last night at training among ourselves with lads, and we actually said, a hard aim at the moment, how we're playing, and we've had a few players retire, and we're transitioning in with a couple of younger lads coming through. We see ourselves at the moment really as sort of a top 6 team pushing, but we know collectively that we aren't quite as strapped yet, and we aren't where we should be. So to be sat in 4th is a positive.
This is the first season back after COVID. I mean, how's the club more generally? Because Hunslet Club Parkside's got plenty of youth teams, hasn't it? How's that side of it as we enter, let's say, relative normality?
Yeah, I mean, as we've debuted this year so far, we've debuted, I think, 3 16-year-old lads, and also had like 3 or 4 lads, 2 or 3, 4 lads that were 16 last year that are like 17 coming on to 18-year-old that have also played this season as well. So we do look very healthy. We've got a good crop of youngsters coming through, and it looks good for future as well as now. It's just trying to blood them at right time rather than throwing them all at deep end at the same time.
And that then takes me to the West Hull game, live on our league this weekend. Developing those pathways and getting that conveyor belt going. This level of exposure the NCL's getting this year, it certainly helps with that, I'm going to suggest, and inspiring the next generation of players.
Oh yeah, I mean, when we first entered, obviously we've had as good year a couple of years ago where we did everything, we went unbeaten, but we still aspire to be a club like the well-established clubs like your West Hulls, your Siddles, your Fattos. They've been doing this for donkey's years, whereas we're still relatively new compared to them in the NCL, especially in the Premier. I think the NCL Premier, these teams are consistently and have been in there now for a lot long years. That's where we want to aspire to be. We want to be one of them teams where, we've got a good crop of young ones coming through, and we can sustain ourselves in that top division and compete every week.
Just to touch upon last season, because obviously it was regionalised, but it was a good season, wasn't it, for Hunslet? Because you finished second, you got through to the playoffs, just narrowly missing out, didn't you, against, I think it was Thorpe, wasn't it, from memory? So,
Yeah.
I mean, what did you learn from last season?
In all honesty, I just thought we wasn't... That game when we played Thorpe, Thorpe wanted it more on the day, and it was just one of those games, you know. We had enough out there probably to win the game, but they just probably, I think, on the day, what they were deserved winners, and they went on to win it all, didn't they? So fair play to them. They just wanted it a bit more on the day.
You ran them close, though, didn't you?
Yeah, we did, yeah. But, you know, like you say, Fato are one of the top teams out there. It's always difficult, especially at Fato, to get a result. And we have done it before, and we hope to do it when we play them later on this season over there. But it is tough over at Fato Heath.
It's all a learning curve, isn't it, really? Competitions like the NCL, where you're in the top 4 at the moment, taking on the likes of Westall, and I'd imagine Westall have got to be, you know, really on it this weekend. So I think that's all credit to everyone at the club, I'm going to suggest.
Yeah, well, I think both teams will have to be really on it. Hoping we can kick on from the last few performances. We've gradually improved over the last few weeks. Probably not at the pace we want to, but we do see, as collectively as a team and as coaching staff, we do see that, you know, we are going to at one point put a performance together and hopefully send a statement out. And hopefully it's this weekend. What better way to do it than beating top at league? If you know, but it's a game. I think it's one of those on Saturday. It'll be a tough game, and keep an eye on table, but don't really tend to look at results. Try to more concentrate on what we do rather than looking at other people. But obviously, you've got to look there at top at league, and looking like Westall and Lock Lane at the moment seem to have hit the straps. So they're the two teams. But I do think that anybody at the moment who's it, especially any of these teams that are up there, I think are all capable of beating each other on the day. So we're going to go into this game confident enough that we, like we do every game, confident enough that we can get the win. Especially at home, hopefully we'll get a good crowd behind us. So, we're definitely confident enough that we can go get a win, but it will be tough against Westall, well established, and obviously found some form and consistency at the moment because they sat there at top at league.
Are you looking forward to this weekend, Sam, finally?
Definitely. I always look forward to playing the big teams. That's why especially the lads, that's why they play the game. That's why the lads play for Hunslet Club. That's, they want to be playing in these games against the likes of Westalls, your Siddles, your Fatos. They want to be playing against and competing against the best in the amateur game. So, and at the moment, Westall sat up there, they're the best team in the amateur game. So we'll be well up for it and ready to rip in.